Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons, monsters and serpents. We have a very special guest tonight. Oh, just fucking get rid of that loop of death. Yes, we have a very special guest tonight. I have spoken to her one-on-one, but never online, only over like the phone. So I'm really looking forward to having a good chat with her tonight and have been a bit more themed tonight, which is going to be amongst the lines of paranormal hours or a paranormal lover of a paranormal. Also, just random spookiness that this lady who's a favourite of you all. Anyway, you all love her. Has sort of followed her. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more chronological tonight and be a bit more not all sort of jumping around the map. And she says one thing and I'm like, oh, she'd start ringing now, wouldn't she? It's my mum, bless her. I'll have to just send her a message in a minute. At least she's still trying to get hold of me. But right, so yeah, without further ado anyway, let's bring her in. Okay. Everyone, please welcome to the stage, Mrs Meinit.
Good evening. Hello.
And how are you?
I don't know. What do you want? What do you want to know?
How's your so you've already, well, there you go, you're already telling people you come with a trigger warning there. So they've already got that. So good evening, Sandra, spicy Spanish salami sandwich, or 5S as we say. Hello, Baz. How we doing, my friend? Baz is a scrub, so
Sandra salami spicy sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, it's one hell of a name, isn't it?
Oh, it's making me hungry.
Yeah, Toffee's disappointed none of us are wearing a Halloween costume. I mean,
it's not Halloween.
Yeah, it's not Halloween. Oh, and also, I did tell our friend Toffee that you passed on a message for me to give him. All right. So, and hello, Illuminatus. Bonsoir. Is it
Illuminatus? Oh.
Yes, Illuminatus is here. So yeah, let's just have a quick catch up before we get into things. How are things going? Obviously, you've got a lot going on in your life now. You're up in sticks. You're getting out of Dodge, so to speak. Not that you're really in Dodge, but you're getting out before it becomes Dodge, perhaps. Let me say.
Yes, I can see the tsunami coming.
Right, you can
so
see. Well, there you go. Yeah, and after working hard for many years, you're up in sticks. You're off to. No, you're not going too far. You're still on the same continent, but it's been. I imagine it's quite hard. I mean, if I had to move 3 doors down, it would stress me out. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm Looney Tunes at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah. and what's your coping mechanism? Plenty of fags.
No, shouting at my husband.
Nick.
All right. Cat. But he knew what he was getting into when he married me 31 years ago. He's known me since I was 8. So
I know. 31 years, eh? That's some amount of time.
And I've still got to prove that we're married. Because
and obviously, if people don't know, you got married in Cuba. In Cuba, yeah.
Now we have to prove that we are married. And I said, look, let's cut out the crap. Just put us both in a room for an hour and you'll tell that we've been married for 31 years. Job done.
I think it's a good tactic.
Yeah, but no, you have to get it sworn, affidavit, apostolized, and even though I've got the legal documents to say that I'm married. Yeah, and then I said, why don't we get remarried? And they went, no, because that would be bigamy. And I thought, I'm marrying the same geezer.
Yeah,
I'm not marrying another geezer from down the road. It's the same bloke.
Yeah. And did you go to the Cuban embassy? I know Mick told me he went there.
Yeah, we both had to present.
Both had to be presenters, and he said it was like a real throwback. Like you could have got it was like you'd gone for a door, and it was the 1970s again.
Oh, it was, yeah, and they work on the, I think at the 1700s principle that you just put a carrier pigeon with a coil around its thing, and it you know, they just, it's just
Well, it works, didn't it?
yeah. Well, we got it done, and I had to chat up the bloke in there over the internet, going, hello, and can you do this for me, pretty please? And I managed to get it done, but
But
oh,
you're also
geez.
you were,
I
and
tell
then
you
and
what,
then
if you had hoops, I've been jumping through them.
yeah, and then you got to where you thought you needed to be, and then all of a sudden
They
some law
changed
in
the rules
Spain
again.
changed.
It's like, I thought, do you really hate me that much?
Yeah. Do they really not want me in Spain?
Yeah, I'm doing there. I'm not going to munch off you. And munch, I didn't mean munch, because that sounds a bit weird. And I seriously thought of going down to Dover, nicking one of them thingies and sailing across to France and taking chances.
Well, it's like the situation I'm at the moment. I'm having to go to meetings and this, that, priority points, and yeah, if I get a box of 200 Irish breakfast tea bags, right, throw them in Rags's bath, lay in it for 24 hours, right, and then come in like I'm really tired and I've been battling the English Channel and just flop onto the beach in Dover and go, hello, English. I'll be in a 5-star hotel that night eating the best food possible.
Have no paperwork. Oh, but I've got a mobile phone and
Yeah.
Nike trainers. You know, it's like, oh, it's bloody crazy. I'll tell you, so
Yeah.
when we was in Spain last time, we were staying at this hotel because we had to be near the solicitors. And over the road was a Europa hotel, one of them brand hotels.
Most bombed hotel in
Anyway,
Belfast.
I'm not surprised, but because it was just full of immigrants, and we've seen them sail across,
Yeah.
going into Spain. Anyway, they're all shacked up in now, and apparently the restaurant had closed down, so we thought we'd go out for a bit of dinner and walk down the road, and it was dark. 30 of them followed us down the road, and you know when you get a sixth sense and you go, hey, this ain't looking good, and I went, Mick, so look behind, and they were just following us. You know the intention, what was going on.
Yeah.
So he said to me, he went, I'll stand a fight, you run. And of course I go, no, I'm fighting with you. And he went, no.
I'll be your shield maiden.
I've got a better idea. I said, see that alleyway? We're going down there and we can cut through. And we done that, but we knew what they were up to. They were going to do really horrible things to us. I can imagine what they were going to do.
Did you say?
But that's
where were you again?
They're having the same problems as we're having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where were you? Was this in Spain? This happened.
Yeah.
What?
It was scary because it's.
I bet it was.
It's quite near Benidorm.
Right. Evening Spanish chicken.
Because it's full of English people that love fried breakfast and Sunday dinner. So,
and lager full of dinos.
Yeah, you don't want to muck around with them. But yeah, they're on the outskirts of Benidorm. That's where we were staying, just to get near the solicitor to sign offs and this, that, and the other. But it was pretty scary. And
yeah, and this was quite recent, was it?
Yeah, it was this year.
It was this year. Oh, blimey.
Yeah, but
these are African fellas, I'm guessing, are they?
Yes. And we saw them sailing across, like rowing. I said, oh, they must be having a rowing club going on. And he went, no, look closely. So I put the glass on.
Yeah, they're not known for rowing.
30 of them.
Unless they're in the bottom of a ship.
No. But, yeah, that's all our fault as well. But,
hello, Dottie.
It was pretty scary, but because it's close to the main ports and the areas, but apparently they're just trying to build houses for these people to be put up in, And it's just sort of thought, oh, this rings a home. it,
What's
it,
the what's it like in Spain for the young people for housing? And are they in the same situation we're in?
yeah, it's quite crazy. I mean, their housing prices are lower than in England. I mean,
Yeah,
you can get your foot on the ladder.
yeah.
In Spain, it's a lot cheaper, but all the young kids are trying to get out of the villages, and that's destroying the village community.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're trying to find jobs. Because it's about 50% of the young people can't find work, and yeah, it's pretty tragic, really. And they're
Is it
imposed
still
measures.
the biggest? It's their biggest industry is agriculture, is it?
A bit both, and tourism. That's
Tourism.
quite puzzling that they go, oh, trying to get rid of the British people. I don't blame them, because there's a lot of people that have had some resources, bought a house, use it for a couple of weeks, and then do Airbnb, which isn't good for the. I know people come in and they will spend their money on the sort of spending their money on in the restaurants and bars, which helps them, but it doesn't help the young people. But they also have another problem. Their inheritance is really, really archaic and weird, because you have a big family and they all start arguing about the house.
Okay.
And there's houses just left empty for years upon years.
Yeah, it happens here in Ireland too.
Yeah, and they're hoping that they're going to make a lot of money, but meanwhile the house is falling to rack and ruin. And they think that's all right, when they could just like flog it on, have the rules that we do, that you just sell your house on, and but their inheritance is really bizarre. But yeah, and that's why there's loads of empty houses in Spain, in villages.
Right, we're being told off by our friend Lumi. He thinks that after 13 minutes that we're not being spooky enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it ahead.
That's spooky, wasn't it?
Yes, right. So basically,
from the beginning.
Yes. So you told me a story yesterday about yourself, and some people may have heard it, but I'd never heard it. But you say it was the beginning of sort of what made you and really defined your character going into life. So I'm going to get you to tell me that story again first, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, I will start from the beginning, because my earliest memory of me being shot out into the world was, I remember from the age of 18 months old, this man used to come and visit me. And it wasn't my Uncle Tom, but he used to come in and look in my crib and go, hello, hello. And my first word was not mummy or daddy, it was, ayo, which upset my mum and dad, because...
Where were you born again?
I was born in London, but as soon as I was shot out, they whisked me down to a village called Dunton in Essex.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, and my dad opened up a garden nurseries.
Yeah.
So and they sort of built the house, and I was brought up in a pile of rubble, basically. But
building it around you, were they?
Oh yeah. My mum built the kitchen. She was a good brickie. She's only my height. She's only a little, but she was a good bloody brickie. She built all the brick walls, and yeah, she was a fighter, that one. One person you wouldn't cross. And but my first memory, another first memory apart from that, was because there was no other children around. It was in the middle of nowhere, basically. And all we had was customers coming in, so they were older people coming in. But we had 3 acres out the back and an acre out the front. Everyone came in the front. And I remember I was about 5, and it was a really nice summer as well. It was before 76. And this man came appearing with a little boy walking down from the back. Now, all that was down the back was 3 acres, and a ditch and barbed wire and a horse field. But he used to come down once a week with this little boy. They were Indian. Now, I'd never seen an Indian person. It didn't matter to me what colour skin they were or who they were. But he used to drop him off, and this little boy used to come and play with me. Not, I don't mean play with me, not in the sexual way, but he would be there. And I'd talk to him, and I'd tell him about the butterflies. I'd show him my snail collection. I was into snails, which is not a good thing when you've got a garden nursery. My dad used to try and drown them. I'd save them and then watch their development with a bit of lettuce. And do you know snails are hermaphrodites?
Yes.
Yeah. And their mating practice is a bit gross.
Okay.
Big green thing and lots of sludge.
Okay. Lovely.
But I used to show him all that, and I used to chat to him, and he never said much. I don't remember saying anything. I never knew his name, but I still remember his face. And at the end of the day, yeah, you're on it.
Yeah, no, William's asking why I've got a gay bar neon lights flashing off my glasses, so I just thought I'd show it.
Yeah, and then the bloke used to come back and collect him, and off he'd go again. And he came all the way through the summer to see me. And, I'd show him. He was there when my hamster died and we buried him, and he held my hand. And I thought nothing of it, and time moved on. And yeah, I'd really love to know his name, but I remember his face. But anyway, I forgot about it. It was only when I went to a medium, because other things started happening very strange in my life. That this medium, and she was spooky weird, and she came out of nowhere, and she went, there was an Indian boy that used to come and see you. And I went, okay. And she went, what he was doing, he was brought by his guide, because he had such a bad life. He wanted to know what it was like to be a child.
Right.
And I was like, Jesus, that's a bit weird. I mean, she was a really good medium. Ones that you just say a bloody word to, and you just sit there, and she told me things. Well, anyway, after that, we had a major incident where we have, as I said, we have the garden nurseries. And my dad was out. He was a mason, so he went out Fridays. And the business was closed for the night. It was a Friday night. I remember the time because it was 9 o'clock.
Your bedtime?
Yeah, it was bedtime. But I was allowed to stay up a little bit later on a Friday, because the 9 o'clock news came on and there was a knock at the door. My mum went to answer it, and I heard her not scream but yelp. It was like, And I looked round the corner, and there's 2 men with a sawn-off shotgun pointed at my mum's head. And I remember instantly thinking, right, I'm going to go and get my toy gun and hold them up. Then I thought, no, it's bright silver, and it's got Silver Star written down the side. I thought,
the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, it was.
Roy Rogers.
And I thought, hide behind the sofa. So I thought, like, pretend it's Doctor Who, when the Daleks came on. And I thought, no. So I just sat there and shut the fuck up. And they came around the corner, and I remember the guy looking at me and going, oh, shit. They'd got the wrong house. They got a woman and a child. And he said quite kindly to me, lay beside your mother, darling, and pretend it's a game. So they gaffer taped me on the floor, hands behind the back, legs tied. And it was just it was surreal, but I'd never had the emotions that I learned so quickly in the space of an hour. Now, I was more shocked that I had my little nightie on. You know, one of them nighties that if you got it caught in a fire, it would just go up.
Like a shell suit.
Oh, yeah. And but I had no knickers on. So my first feeling of that I've never had in my life was embarrassment.
Yeah.
And he looked very uncomfortable as well. The other guy disappeared, and you could hear him ransacking the house and pulling things apart. And my dog was standing over my head. He was a collie dog. He just kept barking and protecting me. He was stood over me. And he said, "Shut that fucking dog up or I'll shoot it." So my mum screamed at the dog and went, "Shut up, Blackhead." Which is not a good name to scream out if you're calling for your dog.
And, I had a couple of cats called Sooty when I was younger.
My dad had one called Sambo, a cat.
Sambo, yeah.
Yeah, go boo-boo, Sambo.
Mm. That's what they call sandwiches down south, in South Island, Sambos.
Sambos.
Yeah, or Sambo.
But this man just sat there on the chair and just watched, and he said, "Face forward, don't look back." A bit of a red rag to a bull with me, and I just kept looking at him. And I still remember his face. I do know his name. He was good looking. He had lovely dark eyes, long hair, black bottom shoes, and big flares. But I just couldn't stop looking at him in the eyes, and and it made him feel uncomfortable. So I learned the power of making someone feel very uncomfortable. And especially when they said, "What's in that room?" My mum went, "That's my daughter's bedroom. There's nothing in there for you." And he went, "No, we ain't going to go in there." And I just looked him in the eyes and went, "Please, mister, please don't steal my Freddy frog," which was my favourite toy. And if you've ever seen a man melt, he could have melted on the floor. And he went, "Darling, I'm not going to steal your Freddy frog." And he went, "Right, we're going now. And he left. You know, and he went, "Don't move. We'll be waiting outside. And if you move, we'll shoot you." And so I managed to untie my mum, tie myself, because I was quite ambidextrous as a kid. And we crawled along the floor and we went to the kitchen that was at the back. And my mum said, "I've got to go and get help, Claire." They've ripped out the phone. She went, "Hold on to the dog's collar." She went and she handed me this big knife. And she went, if they break in again and come back, kill them." And I stood there for half an hour, and my intent was fight or flight, and my intention was fight, and I would have done it as well. And I didn't know if my mummy was coming back because I had to lock the door after her. And she did come back all bruised and battered, and the police got there before she did. But I didn't go and hide in a cupboard. I wasn't going to do that. I was ready to fight, and I would kill. So,
was that like your Freddy the Frog toy on the screen?
Huh?
Was that like your Freddy the Frog toy on the screen?
No, mine was a beanbag one.
This is a beanbag one.
It was a beanbag one, and I sucked his nose off, and all the beans fell out, so it got stuffed with my mum's old stockings. And that frog goes everywhere with me around the world. Every time I travel, the frog goes. And then Mouse Cat goes, "You pat the frog."
Well, even if you go on holiday?
Oh, yeah, he goes, "You pat the frog." So the frog was at my wedding.
Yeah.
He gave me away. It was my witness. And we done a ceremony. We got remarried on Glastonbury tour, just the pair of us. And
Lovely.
done a sort of pagan ritual. And the frog was also there as a witness. I think there's seriously something wrong with us. But
So
But yeah,
now Mickey says there in the chat they took your mum's jewellery as well, right?
yeah, they could only find 50 quid in the house, and my mum had a go at them and went, well, we're a business, of course it's been banked. We've only got 50 quid. They took about 3 grand's worth of jewellery. Well, that's what we told the insurance company anyway. But but yeah, my dad, the police turned up. There was 14 police cars, armed guards, dogs, everything, and I answered the door to them. And I was dragged into another room to be questioned. My mum was in the other one. My dad didn't come back till 12 o'clock. And my dad was quite a joker, and he'd come out with inappropriate things sometimes, a bit like his daughter. And he went, all right, what's going on here? Are you having a party? And she's like, I'm not having a fucking party. But he actually felt... so
the secret policeman's ball.
Yeah. Fucking idiot. She was having the right go at him. And I'm sitting there going, but yeah, so that's the story of where I get fight or flight, embarrassment, and the other one, and just standing your ground. So, but
right.
I've changed after that because my dad fell very ill after that, because he always said, I should have been there. And I always told him, no, Dad,
guilt complex.
They would have shot you. And apparently they got caught 2 years later, and they had shot someone's kneecap off, shot someone's hand off. They were part of a big gang syndicate in Silvertown. And the bloke stood up in court, took our robbery into account and went, if I'd known I'd been fitted up to do that job, I would never have robbed a woman and a child. And he said, no, I'd rather turn the gun on the person who stitched it up.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to meet that guy and say, don't worry about it. You know, because out of that, because my mum always said, out of bad comes good. And it's the way you deal with it. So out of that, she started writing for cathartic reasons. It didn't affect me at all, apart from I got to piss out of school because, please, mister, please don't take my Freddy frog. So I got that for a few years. But she started writing. And before she died, she'd written 34 novels, all published. And it was only because she wrote for magazines about getting off her chest of what happened. And I'm lucky that my dad wasn't there, because they would have shot him. That gun was loaded, where they were pointing at me.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So it's some. So how do you think you personally sort of moved on from the trauma yourself? Obviously, it was a double trauma with your dad passing away not long after, and it's got to being intrinsically linked.
Well, we left. We closed the business down and we moved further into Billericay. And I moved down this road, and there was no other girls there apart from a load of blokes. And one of these blokes was Mousecat. Michael. Yeah.
As his mum probably used to call him.
Yeah. Yes, Michael when he's naughty. Mick to his business people, and Mick to his friends. But when it's called Michael, he knows he's in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, and one of them was him, and he came walking down the road, and I clocked eyes on him, and my friend Jeremy he went, this is my friend Claire. And I looked at him and I fell in love with him instantly. Lovely brown eyes, nice hair. And I've been his mate ever since. Best friends. So yeah, but after that, my dad passed away of loads of strokes and stuff. But then the paranormal started to bite me on the arse again. It got worse and worse and worse. So much.
Okay, well, you tell it how it happened.
Well, I got when my dad was seriously ill, and I went up to see Dad in the hospital, and I went, Dad, I'm going away, because they made me go away with a friend's family to France, and so I went up to see him. Now the stroke had done so much to him that he couldn't move, couldn't talk, he didn't recognise anything, and I said to my dad, I went, Dad, I'm going away on holiday. I said, I'll see you when I come back, and please remember I love you. And he just turned his head and smiled at me. He waited till I'd gone when he died. So I don't think he wanted me to be around. And I kept worrying about him, phoning me mum up and go, how's Dad, how's Dad? And she went, oh, he's fine, darling, he's fine. And then one night I had this mad dream. And it was like what I call a waking dream. It was
like a lucid one.
Oh, yeah, and it was you know, the whole dream consisted of me coming home early, walking up the driveway, going to the table, finding a letter, and finding out my dad was dead.
Right.
And they came back early. All of a sudden, they went, "Oh, there's going to be a problem on the channel, so we've got to come back early." That morning, I'd phoned my mum and said, "Is Dad all right?" Because I had this dream, and like when the pit of your stomach's been ripped out.
Yeah.
That gutted feeling.
Yeah.
And it was very much like that. And this dream couldn't get out of my head. And like, while we were trying to make the most of it on that day, and me and my friend were dancing around the room, and I went, turn it up, the radio. And the radio went up. And my friend Kelly looked at me and I went, turn it down, and the radio went down. Anyway, that afternoon we had to leave. And they dropped me off. My mum was out, she was meant to be there. I knew what to do. I walked in and found the note and found out it was not meant to be that way, if you know what I mean. But the dream told me it was going to be that. After that, all hell was let loose. And just, I had imps coming into the room, looking at me, and voices calling my name, and I used to still hear them now. They call my name Claire. I'm going to change my name to Fred, I tell you, because if I hear my name again. And it just went absolutely crazy, bizarre, listening to, I could smell them, hear them, see them, people. And I used to have, it started waking dreams, I called them, that something was going to happen, and I get this white trigger come across me, and I just react like fight or flight. So I saw an accident happened to my mum, and I stopped her as someone slipped and fell, but I saw her falling, and I shouted at my mum, and you don't do that to my mum. Oh, you don't never shout at my mum. She's dead now, and she went, what's up with you? What's happened? You have talking to me like that? And the woman in front fell, because all I saw was a woman fall, blood pouring down the street. And that happened in front of me, and I was just physically shaking, going, Jesus. The other time we was in Grand Canyon, and she went, oh, let's go on the plane to fly through the Grand Canyon. And I just had one of these fits again. I went, no, we're not. No. That afternoon, the plane crashed. And
in the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, in the Grand Canyon, yeah. And
a tourist plane?
Yeah. And San Francisco.
So your life's a bit like that film Final Destination then. You're like...
But it got so intense. It was like I had a devil on my shoulder. And it just got so much. And it was quite intense. I'd see things, I'd hear things. And I still have it to this day, but, I'm far too busy sometimes. I'll go piss off. A lot more to handle. But Yeah, it's. I'm just going to grab a quick tissue if you don't mind, because
No. You carry on, my lovely. Some childhood. I don't know, being held up by.
Chat amongst yourself. But yeah,
Hey?
but it's always been the way that. I mean, it happens in this house. I can see them all round me, and the one that lives, the couple of that live in here are quite funny. One's got a billowing voice that calls my name and takes the piss, and he likes animals quite a lot.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you stay away from this house, say at a friend's or in a hotel or on holiday, are they gone? Is it attached to that house or is it attached to you?
To me, I'm always going to see them and hear them.
Right, so you've got the attachment.
Oh yeah, it's just like something that I've got. Apparently, my grandmother was like it as well, but she didn't say much about it. But yeah, I see them all over the place. It might be fleeting, but I can smell things. I know that sounds terrible.
Well, I'm going to get you to tell the story of the ghost fart at some stage. And to be fair, I haven't spoken to Mickey about it, but
it was funny, and I thought that's a weird way to say thank you.
Cheers. I got you a lovely smelling bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
you come and swamped us.
Really ugly fart for you, and it happened again the other day, like in another room.
I know. You said Mickey was sniffing around for a dead mouse or something, wasn't he?
He looked at me and he went, "Was that you?" And I went, "No, I thought it was you."
How very dare you? Ladies can't do ones like that.
I would have been really proud if I'd done one like that.
That's answer. I would have told you that was me, love.
I would have been well chuffed. I looked at him and I thought, "You dirty bugger." And he was looking at me the same way, going,
you know, usually when you hear stories of like someone who's talking about someone who's just passed on, like I used to get the whiff of my dad's aftershave for a long time. And people who used to smoke say, "Oh, I could smell his cigar," or a perfume that my mum used to wear. You two end up with like swamp gas.
All I done was laid a bunch of flowers at his door. I didn't know I was going to be repaid in that. Thank you very much. Clear as a fart. Oh, cheers.
You're the only one who came to lay flowers as well, I bet.
No one knew about him or liked him very much. So, but I paid the kindness. Yeah. So he repays me with a big stinky old fart.
Right. So you call them, you refer to them as imps, right?
No. The imp was something different. That was demonic. The imp was trying to get hold of me. It was like a dwarf on top of the cabinet, and it just turned and looked at me. I run like fuck. And
have you ever had? I've had it. I had it once here a few weeks ago at Rags's house. Now I have to fall asleep on my side, but I haven't slept in a proper bed since New Year's Eve, right? So I've been on air mattresses and it's almost like a glorified sunbed lounge. I think I'm on at the moment. I can't wait to get into a proper fucking bed. And I'd fallen asleep on my front like that, okay, and I could feel something climbing up my back, like the pressure climbing up my back, and it was grabbing me. And it was trying to pull me off, but I had that paralysis.
It was trying to do what? Pull you off?
Yeah, you don't always have to make it saucy, you. It was trying to pull me off the mattress, right? And in the end, I mustered up, like I was in paralysis. You know, when you ever had sleep paralysis, where you're completely aware of everything around you, but you can't move, you can't talk, nothing. And in the end, I managed to summon up enough energy to like flick my soldier and go, "Wherever you are, fuck off," like that. And it did go away. Now, I don't. Yeah, succubus, isn't it? Or
yeah, ones that pressurise your chest, or they do
pressurise your chest. Yeah, you wake up and you've got the stomach feels like someone sat on your chest. Yeah, but I went through a real stage of that once. It was after my dad had passed, because I was in my old bedroom. My mum was out of town over in Ireland with her boyfriend at the time, and my brother and his girlfriend were staying in their bedroom, and my brother woke me up. And I was whimpering. I was going, oh. So I was in some sort of fucking night terror, basically,
Yeah.
And he had to shake me out of it. And just horrible. Just but I am of two minds whether these things are supernatural or just a normal sort of bodily function that's gone wrong. I mean, your brain is just basically electrified jelly, isn't it? It can. Epilepsy is basically just like a short circuit, isn't it? That's what happens then, isn't it, in your brain? Like
it's when you're awake and I mean, the last one was I was out in the garden. Well, this is before a vegan dog ate all my chickens.
A vegan dog?
Yes, a vegan owner with a vegan dog ate all my chickens. 15.
That's why it ate all your chickens. Because it wasn't being allowed its natural diet.
I should have taken down that visible sign over my door saying "Butchers eat your chicken here," because I mean, the woman's stupid as arse. She needs a bit of meat in her, I'll tell you. And I did actually chase down the road a couple of years ago because it tried to eat my cat, and I came up with some old English words.
Some old Anglo-Saxon words.
So fast.
Some old Anglo-Saxon words, are they?
Oh yes, very, very ones that are quite common. I think I invented a few as well.
Yeah.
And she run like fuck. Don't nobody eats my cat. But anyway, I used to go out and close chickens up for the night.
Yeah.
I mean, where we are, we've got gamekeepers round, so you're all right for foxes. But I always like to lock them in at night. So I used to go out in the garden and I'd woken up and gone, shit, I've got to chickens up. Now, the same bloke who liked opening and shutting the cat flap, nicking every, staple guns that I had and then giving them back in a big pile. It likes nicking stuff. It thinks it's fucking funny. And I quite like him.
A bloke?
But he's a bloke, yeah.
Used to wander onto your property.
Yeah.
Take like a staple gun out your garden, add it to other collection of stuff that he's stolen through, and every now and again we'll bring a basket back and go, here's your stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of village do you live in, by the way? Is it the Shutter Island?
5 staple guns I bought because I used to put things up on the walls for village events. And every time I bought a staple gun, it would go missing. So I had to buy another staple gun. And this happened 5 times. And then one day they all appeared in a big pile at once. Now I was...
Was he a kleptomaniac?
Yeah, no, he thought it was funny.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a really gruff voice. He's very low down. He wears a flat cap because I've seen him. And he calls my name, goes, Clout. And Clout. But when I was out with putting the chickens away, it was dark. I went out, still night, and all the wind chimes started going mental. And I thought, no, it ain't windy. Anyway, what I used to do when I had chickens before a vegan dog ate them all, I used to introduce myself to the chickens.
Good morning.
And then they just go, bok, bok, bok. So they knew it was me. So it didn't know me. And behind me, as I was shutting it while the wind chimes were going mental, behind me in my ear, it went, bok, bok, bok. And I just closed the door of the chicken shed and just walked back and I go, okay, that's a bit freaky.
Just who did? Sorry. What the man was?
Yeah, it was right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he thought it was really
I thought
funny.
it was a disembodied voice that had done that, because that would be enough for me to never come back to that property again.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, oh,
well,
oh.
I didn't see him at that time, but he used to open my rabbit cage up, and that was a bugger to open up. Wake up in the morning, door wide open. George was out. We used to have this big continental giant, and he was about 2 stones worth of rabbit. And
Like a lot of meat on that.
oh God, yeah. But George was out, and it opened the thing up, and it used to play games with the cat flap, locking it and closing it, and
What, with the little switches on it and that?
yeah. And it would do it all the time.
You know
And
what we had to do?
I
We
used
had
to
to
have to
do
put it
once.
and go, will you leave the fucking cat alone and the radish? The radish, the rabbit.
The radish.
The radish. Leave my radishes alone, darling.
Yeah. I don't eat them. They're strictly for carving.
Yes.
You know, people do that. Radish carving as a hobby.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
carving
yeah,
off.
they do little intricate.
Yeah.
I think there are Thai people that do a lot of that, don't they? They
Yeah.
make roses out of things like carrots and things like that. I'd love to learn how to do it, but I ain't got the time or the patience. Or
No. But one time, it was after my dad had gone, because my dad wasn't very able the last years of his life. His back was just fucked after years of work, merchant seaman and all that. So he was always in the house, right? So whenever we got stray cats round, trying to eat our cat's food, which is on the back doorstep, he'd just bugger them off, right? Then after my old man died, these cats got fucking brave, and they started to come into the house and terrify our little cats in the house. So we had to get this all singing, all dancing cat flap that read their little
scan thing.
Read their little microchips.
Yeah.
It would be like, it would let them in, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, you have to shove your cat through it and then shove the cat back again just to register. And the cat's looking at you going, shall I just leave? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. They don't really understand what's going on.
Well, no, wait, if someone started shoving you through the front door and then back in the door.
And then pushed through the back door.
What are you trying to say? Do you want to stay? Do you want to leave? What?
Poor little fuckers. God bless their hearts. Yeah. God bless their hearts. They'll be long gone now.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be chipping us next.
Yeah. So anyway, so carry on. Where were we? Right. So the imps were a different thing.
Oh yeah, right? The imps were just because I dabbled a stupid thing, done the Ouija board in the house,
right?
And it got attached to me, so I knew what it was, but I got rid of it. But yeah, I think my spirit people were stronger than it was.
Have you ever seen a faith healer, spiritual healer?
Yeah, mediums. Some of them are shit, some of them are really good. I used to go to one in Dagenham called Daphne. And she was a funny looking lady. She never looked you in the eye, and she'd always talk to the side of herself. But she invited me to a seance once. She told me loads of things without me prompting her. And invited me to a seance, which was table tipping.
Yeah.
And of course, I am sort of skeptical about things. I'm not wholeheartedly going to believe in anything. But this table was lifting up in the air and moving around the room and this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, she burst out laughing. And she went, oh, my God. She goes, this bloke's walked into the room. She is so funny. She said, he's just put a big golden chicken in the middle of the table. And she looked and she went, and it's for you. Now, my dad used to have a chicken farm before I was born. And I instantly knew who it was. She went, oh, his name's Charlie. She goes, oh, he's so funny. She goes, he's here. But this bloody table was all over the sodding place. It was quite a sight to see. You'd think you was in the Victorian times. But, yeah, she was a lovely lady. And she saw Mick coming into my life. She said his name. And I was like, but he's my mate. I wasn't having none of it. But yeah, but you know a charlatan from not a charlatan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I've had no experience of anything like that, to be fair.
yeah, they're pretty good. You get a real one who actually knows their stuff, who they are, and they don't know you, and when you go to one, don't say a mumbling word. Like that song, was it? And the cat named Boo never said a mumbling word. What song was that? Yeah, you just don't say anything. You don't want to give the game away, even in your eye movements. And the shit they come, like good ones, come out with, you go, oh, okay, that's quite amazing. She was lovely. She's probably dead now, but I've got all the recordings from what she told me, and so yeah. So, but one thing I did do, which was quite spooky experience. I was so sad after my dad passed because I was never given the chance to say goodbye, because they shifted me off to France and they lied to me, and I didn't get. They were all by his bedside and I won't. So that always bothered me. And I heard something about transcendental meditation, where you can cross over. And I
Is that like astral projection and all that?
Yeah. And I really wanted to say goodbye to my dad properly. Anyway, I laid in the bed one night and concentrated, and it was like, how do I explain it? You know, when back in the day when the television went off and it's like static.
Yeah.
And that white, sort of black and white.
Snow.
Yes. And all of a sudden it went vroom, and I got dragged through. And I ended up in a road that looked like back in the East End, probably like Roman Road. And I knew where I was going, and I walked through. And there, to the left, there was a door. It was a pie and liquor mash shop. And I walked in there. There's all the people sitting there. And my dad came in. And I went, oh, Dad. And he went, hello, Claire. I said, I just want to let you know I love you and goodbye. And he went, I love you too. Gave me a cuddle. And I was just brought back really, really quickly. And
did your dad like a bit of pie mash and liquor, did he?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, it's true. Who doesn't?
Yeah. But yeah, this woman told me, without me even saying it, she went, you've gone over the other side. And I went, how do you know that? She went, yeah, and she described the whole thing before me, not prompting her. And she said, oh, he wanted to meet you and your nan let you through because you're allowed to, because of the way you are. And I thought, oh, that's nice. I've never done it again, but it worked that time. And I got the message across. So, yeah, that was quite nice. But it's like static. It's really, really weird.
Yeah, I didn't feel the need to do anything like that because I was actually there as my dad passed, as he took his final breath, which is strange because they then try and take the body tries to take another breath because obviously it's just, it's very machine-like, and it can be quite harrowing, seeing stuff like that.
It is, and I always find, I was there when my mum died, and she was in a home, and she'd be, what do they call it, when you're on death watch for a couple of years for what she had, but give her a due, she fought it for 2 years, but they phoned me up and they went, can you come up now, she's on her way out. And I went, no. And then I thought, oh, sod it, I'm going up there. When you're trying to drive carefully because all these things go in your head. And I got in the room, and it was during the pandemic. But because I provided PPE to all the people in there, I was the only person allowed in.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they let me. I provided PPE to all the staff in there, and I walked in like a little white Darth Vader mask, gloves, glasses, you know. And I walked in, and my mum was laying there, and I just went. I took the goggles off and went, "Hello, Mum, it is I, Leclerc." And she smiled, and then she took a breath and she died. And I thought, well, I better go home now. But you know, it's like a really weird feeling. Like, well, it's quite insular, if you know what I mean.
I was glad
And
I was there.
find that it's just you go completely dead in yourself. And I got up and walked out.
Yeah.
Got home and just went, well, my mum's just died. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
No, we were very lucky. We were very lucky. He was literally being moved from the general hospital over to the hospice, and he died as they were putting him from the gurney onto what would have been his new bed in the hospice. So he didn't really spend any time in the hospice. You know.
How old was he?
75. He was 4 days short of his 76th birthday.
Oh, darling. How old were you?
30. So I'll say 7 years now. 36.
36. So he was quite old enough to deal with it. I mean, when my dad passed, I was just turned 15.
Yeah.
Bit of a dodgy time to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
My personality changed from there.
No, I had my own daughter, an 11-year-old daughter, and that, you know, so at that time.
For me, being a mouse creature, my personality changed from to be quite a fighter. I weren't putting up with the shit anymore of the bullying or being picked on.
Right.
Just
who was what at the age of 15 you were being bullied and picked on?
Oh yeah, because I used to cry easily, and how do I explain it? You know, at school, you're in the nerd lot, the middle lot, and the top lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I was in the top lot, but at the bottom ranking. So all the blokes thought it was a really good idea to get me to cry and pick on me because I wouldn't stand up for myself. But after that, I had a couple of them up against a wall by the neck going, yeah, say that again. You know? And it changed. And I met them later on in life and I said, why did you do that to me? Why were you so horrible? And they said, because we really fancied you. It's a fucking weird way of showing it.
Yeah, it's usually the way. I remember wanting to toy fight the girls. You used to toy fight them. You fancy that? Yeah, toy fight. You know, so you can fucking get them in a headlock and get a bit near them, you know?
I thought you meant chasing around the room with a teddy bear.
No, not Freddy the Frog style.
Yes, have me, Teddy. Come
here.
Well, that's why Kiss Chase was invented, wasn't it? Do you remember Kiss Chase?
Absolutely, yeah, Kiss Chase. Yeah, I don't know what that would look like on a modern day playground. Everyone's chasing fucking everyone by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, they just do it online now. Or you'd be locked up for being a pedo or something.
Yeah, geez. Well, okay, so you got any other stories that you want to tell us?
I'm looking at my notes. No, there's loads of things that happen, but I don't want to bore the shit out of anyone.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah, I've told you about the troll. I don't know. For years, I thought I was just crazy that I saw these things and smelt these things and felt these things. And
what did they smell like? Was it a horrible smell?
No, a perfume would suddenly appear in anywhere I was, and I'd go, "Oh, I know who that is." I always very courteous and say thank you very much for coming to see me. Like they just notice themselves. I mean,
yeah.
They're just always around. I mean, I've got there's a couple of them in the house as well. One that just it's always bloody corridors. Like
Right.
everywhere I've been, there's a corridor. You know, it goes up the stairs or into another room, and they're always like wandering around there, and you catch them out the corner of your eye. And I just go, all right, what are you doing? What are you up to? What do you want to know? It just becomes quite normal. I suppose my husband thinks I'm
Yeah, I was
bit
about to say, has Mick ever had any incidents, or has he ever come to you and gone, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, he's seen a few doors open and close.
Right.
And when we first moved into the house, he was quite shocked because he saw a woman run through the house by the bay window in a long cream dress, running. And then I just came in just after him, and he went, "But what? You weren't here. You just, and you're wearing jeans." strange things like that. But
My dad used to make me laugh. He said, he goes, you know the thing about ghosts, right? I goes, yeah. He goes, well, I can kind of get it that a human being can come back as a ghost. He goes, but why aren't they all naked? He goes, why do the clothes that they die with become ghosts?
I'm naked. I want more.
And why aren't there fields of ghost cows walking around?
The cows know when to fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't know, why isn't it not round a barbecue after you've had a steak? Go,
Exactly, going, fucking hell. I was alive yesterday. Yeah, why aren't there caveman ghosts? Mickey wants to know why there aren't caveman ghosts. Could be. How much time you spent in caves?
Yeah, I think you get a certain amount of time. I personally think that they knock around. Sometimes they don't want to leave, or they're a bit lost, or they're watching people. They're watching someone they love. So,
Right.
and they like anything in life. It has a time expectancy, but their time is different from our time.
Yeah.
A nanosecond is different to our nanosecond, if you know
Right.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it depends how much your soul wants to keep them going. Like I still need you around. So they stick around. They drop in and out all the time. And then you get ones that who are just so pissed off of what's happened to them, or you get some that are just really, really angry. And
Maybe they've been murdered. You often hear about people that get, you're growing up and you hear about all like Anne Boleyn and the Grey Lady, and
they're all disappeared because they've only got a certain time to bugger off, because everything has its own time expectancy.
Entropy.
Yeah, and then you get ones that are just malevolent, that just get off on the fact that they want to piss you off.
Right. So you know about the when things happen around you, like keys go missing or things like that, and I've heard people explain it away as it's like just children being mischievous. You heard that one?
Yeah.
Things get moved around in your head when you know for a fact that you've left something somewhere, but it's like lying in the middle of your bed.
It's mischievous. It's probably because they're bored shitless and they think it's quite funny. I find that like the bit of paper that I'm looking for, that I know where it was and it's so important, and that disappears, only to be found again in the same place. And you're like, you little shit. Stop it. I haven't got all the time in the world. But they have.
Yeah. So what's your take? What's your take on what happens? Like, have you got a take on what happens when you take your last breath?
Yeah, a light and you either choose to go into the light or you choose not to. Maybe you want to stick around and see what happens. You want to see people crying at your funeral, or one of your dependents needs you so much. The person who's still living is sucking the energy out of them, going, I really need you, I can't let you go. So they stick around to make sure you're all right. But there's a lot of people who just die and go off and meet their other people. I mean,
do you think there's a spirit realm where people who knew each other, families, friends, and that can, there's like a big pub in the sky where they can go and have a pint? I mean, that's what I'd like to think.
I reckon my mum's been partying for the next couple of years, like last couple of years, because I saw her once, and then she's gone. But she even though I'm a shy, retiring type, and I don't talk that much. I mean, she could talk, and she's partying her way up there, and she had a lot to meet. I mean, she had 2 husbands, both of them dropped dead before she died. So she's making up a good bit of time. The one that I always think is strange is that if you've had a couple of husbands that both died, which one do you go to, or is it just like free love?
This is a great question. This is a great question, right? In the wedding vows, it's till death do us part, right? So you could have had a fantastic 40 years with your wife, right? Yeah, and you go first, and you go up there, and you meet another woman, right?
Yeah,
right. Now, when she gets up there and sees you at the bar sipping a Campari with this other woman, right? Yeah,
which one
and she starts kicking off. Why are you? It was till death do us part. We said those words.
I brought the contract up with me. You wanker. I've always wondered that. I mean, because my mum said to me, she goes, like, before she died, she went, Claire,
just before you go, carry on, isn't there other vows where you vow to be together? No, I'm thinking in sickness and in health, aren't I?
In sickness and health until death do us part.
Yeah. So I've done my part of the bargain, love. I had a clutcher at 60. You carried on till you were 95. What do you expect me to be up here and be lonely on my own?
Another bloke. I'm just knocking around, waiting for you to come up. We're already married.
And she likes Campari.
Yeah, I hate Campari. I was teetotaler, you bitch. I mean, do they have fisticuffs or something like that? I can imagine it's like free love, and everyone's like, "Ooh, we all love each other."
No, I don't want to think heaven's like sort of the hippie movement in the 60s. No, I don't want to believe it's all free love. Everyone's just like in a polycube.
They go bugger that for a game of soldiers. So I'm staying here. I'm keeping an eye on this lot. It's way more interesting. But it's like I said to me, Mum, like she said to me, she went, Claire, she goes, in my death thing, will, she goes, would you mind awfully if I get married, if I get buried with my first husband? I mean,
is that your father?
No. But
no.
My brother and sister are my half brother and sister.
Yeah.
I'm 16 years younger than my brother, and my sister's 18 years older than me.
Right. So I've got a brother who's 20 years older than me.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, during the 50s, my sister was 3 and my mum was pregnant with my brother. And her husband, John, who was a very handsome guy, actually, he fell from scaffolding. The scaffolding wasn't rigged properly. So he'd gone through the war and done all that. And fell, smashed his head. And he died.
Poor fuckers.
I know. And my mum was pregnant with my brother. So when he died, he had a pink eye, because he smashed down. And my mum was pregnant, so she had to
He
go.
didn't kill him outright.
No. What killed him outright is I didn't let him have a wee. So he got a urinary tract that goes.
They didn't put a. Would they have had a catheter then, though, wouldn't they?
They didn't have that, no, but they didn't make sure he went to the toilet a wee, and that was it killed him. Plus the head injury, and he had a pink eye when he died. So my mum spent, I had to go through the birth with my brother, and when my brother was born, he had the same pink eye as his dad. So my brother's never met his dad's before, and my sister was 3, and it's traumatised her most of her life. And my mum decided that she was going to spend the rest of her time just bringing up her kids properly. She went to work, she got them educated and this, that and the other. And it was only by chance that her friend went, come on, you're coming out tonight. And we're taking you to a singles club. Not like singles clubs now. They were like dinner and dance things. And the first night, my dad was there.
Mm.
And she fell in love with him.
And he didn't sidle up to her and go, pock, pock, pock.
Now we've done it with a fox trot. And she fell in love with him. And then it only took me to the age of 40 to realise that I was sort of like, boom. They had it off, and they had to get married because I was the wedding present, allegedly.
I was in my mum's tummy on their wedding day, so I was kind of like that too.
Yeah, we're both bastards, aren't we?
Yep.
But we got
lovely bloody bastards.
Yeah. So she's had 2 husbands. My dad died when I was 15 because he was 12 years older than my mum.
Right.
She was 41 when I was born, so I was late in life for that. 1960.
Yeah. See, mine's the other way around kind of thing. My dad was 39 when he had me, but my mum was 24. So yeah, still got my mama. She's doing well. She's really fit and healthy. Looks after herself. Goes on long walks and stuff. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. No, I'm an orphan now.
Yeah, I don't want to be an orphan. I'm not quite ready to be an orphan yet. Don't want to think about it, to be fair. Yeah.
But then I started thinking, because she said to me, she goes, do you mind if I get buried with my first husband? And I went, she always asked me these questions, and I went, I'm not worried. You get buried wherever you want to be, love. Because my dad was cremated. I did say that to her. I mean, well, it's a bit hard if my dad's cremated and you want to be buried. So what, I'm going to pin you to a tree,
Yeah, he was toffee, mate. I was number 5 of 6. I've shown you a picture of him, haven't I? It's always by my side.
Oh, he's lovely.
Yeah.
He looks like someone famous.
Merchant seaman, big strong man. Always had lots of love and respect for women. He was raised by women because his dad had, the buses, the old London buses where you just used to hop on and hop off.
Oh, I love them.
Fucking, he hopped on and the bus swung around the corner and it just sent him fucking flying, skittering. And he didn't kill him outright, but he was bedbound basically for a few years after that. So that was Paolo Benjivengo, which is where I get the Benson surname from.
Was that in London that happened?
Yeah, that was in London. That was in near Blackheath.
Oh, right. Okay. Because I've seen that happening outside Liverpool Street.
Yeah. Yeah, he went skittering across the fucking. I hadn't quite gripped hold of the poles the time the bus was turning round, and you know that it's got quite a when those buses turn, there's quite a fucking bit of G-force given off, isn't there? And he just went fucking flying. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah. Like I say, he'd be he born 1942. He'd be 83 now.
83. Wow.
Yeah.
I think my dad.
He was born right into the belly of the beast, right when the Blitz was going on. One of his first memories. Now I'm hoping, I was telling you before the stream, I've got some stuff that I'm not in possession of at the moment, but that's getting sorted this Monday. Yeah, I'm hoping. I can't find his rosary beads that were his mum's rosary beads. And when I was going through my addiction and stuff and trying to come out the other side, he gave them to me as a gift. Now I'm not Catholic or anything, but I thought it was just a nice touch, and hopefully they're in those boxes so I can still keep it. I have got a piece of his hair, like when with the undertakers we took them to, they offered certain services and that, and they said it's a very Victorian thing to do, and not everyone's interested in it, but we can take some little clippings of his hair and then they tie it up.
That's lovely. Yeah,
in like a little.
They used to do rings made of them. They used to weave.
Yeah, so I've got that. I've got that too. It's just here actually. This is my dad's box. It's a little box of stuff. Where is it? There you go. There you go. Look, Spencer and Peyton, the Undertakers, and then you get a little Jim Benson and his hair.
Oh, that's lovely. He meant a lot to you, didn't he?
Everything.
Which is, it's like, I tell you, it's nice to hear because there's so many fathers who don't give a shit about their kids, and so many kids don't give a shit about their families. So it's lovely to hear. You're keeping his memory.
Well, they do say, isn't it? You die 3 times, yeah? It's the day you die physically, it's your funeral, and then it's your the last time someone alive mentions your name.
Yeah. I always try and keep the names alive.
Yeah, you try as you might though, unless you're someone like Queen Elizabeth or someone like that. One day, it's quite obvious that your name never be mentioned again.
Yeah, I knew she was dead before they announced it.
How come?
I just knew, and I had a meeting down the road with a certain person who was in the know, and I said to him all of a sudden, I think the Queen's dead. He went, she is.
Yeah.
He said,
bone cancer, wasn't it?
Yeah. They hadn't announced it on telly, but I just instantly know. You just know when someone's just snuffed it. It's one of them spooky things. But yeah, it's.
They were toffee, mate. They were toffee. That's why, obviously, when we talk about other things on streams and that, it gets.
They were proper, because my dad was born in 1916.
Your dad was born 1916.
Yeah, so he went through the First World
War. You're literally during the middle of the First World War.
Yeah.
And my dad was born in the middle of the Second World War.
Yeah.
Did your dad go to war?
But they wouldn't let him go to war because his business was scrap metal merchants.
Oh, yeah.
Precious thing. So they had to be around to get the metal.
Ammunitions.
Like that, yeah. He wanted to join up. They wouldn't let him. And he was one of 14 children. His mum was Roman Catholic and his dad was Protestant. So, and in them days, you knocked out quite a few kids.
Yeah, well, my mum's eldest of 9.
He died, before that happened, but he had to stay behind. There was 3 brothers, 1 half brother, and the rest were all girls. So
did any of his brothers go to war?
His younger brother, Frank, and his older brother, but because my dad knew the trade really well, he had to keep it kept back to run the company.
See, my dad's mum had died because obviously he was 39 when he had me. His mum had died in the 60s, right? So I never had a nan on my dad's side. I also never had a nan on my mum's side because, God bless her heart, she died at 42 from a brain tumour.
Oh, Jesus.
But what I did have is I had a couple of my dad's sisters who were a couple of old spinsters, and they lived together. One of them's still alive. She's 99 now, right? She's in a home and that.
Really?
But they both lost the love of their lives in the war. One was in active combat, and one was flying a plane back from a reconnaissance mission, and he crashed somewhere in the mountains of Scotland.
Is that
And
Second World War?
yeah, Second World War, yeah. And
Oh,
they never got over it. Like, they never moved on.
well, that
They never.
reminds me of when I lived, when I was a little girl. There was just no kids around. It was just me and my dog, Kiara. It's just me and my dog. And I used to go and see Auntie B, who lived next door. Now, Auntie B, I used to go through the bushes and take the dog with me. Auntie
Yeah.
B was a really old lady with lots of hair on her chin. Chinny,
Yeah.
chin. She lived in a bungalow that had 2 rooms, a built-in lean-to and a privy out the back. But she loved me coming in, and she was one of twin sisters, and she lost her intended, and her sister lost the intended in the First World War. They never remarried. They never got married, and they
No,
lived
it's,
together.
it's the same. Exactly the same with these two. And they ended up living together. Like, it was a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like best of friends and worst enemies at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
but blimey, my aunt Betty, Elizabeth, because they're an Italian family, the food they could knock out. The only 2 people in the world who could make it wasn't never spaghetti bolognese. It was always spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing because you can use cheaper cuts of meat and more fat or whatever. But the sauce they made from scratch. No tins of nothing. All from scratch. You know, you reduce the tomatoes to get your puree and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't. My dad could make it, and I would pay anything to be able to go and have a plate of Aunt Betty's spaghetti. It was always called sketty and meatballs. Sketty, yeah. But all those names, like my Aunt Betty, she was like, at one point, she was the eldest active Avon lady in Britain. Still 90 odd years old, going up and down selling her Avon. But it was all the names on her list I'd be reading off, like Dottie, Pearl, Queenie, Reenie. It's all these lovely old Cockney names.
Irene.
Yeah, Vi. Vi. Yeah, Edith.
All them names are coming back though. People.
I know, but like Toffee says, he's meant to be doing a stream with Joe Marsh about it. Like, just like these areas of England that were so part of like Little Britain, like, you know, the Cockney East End was such its own character, such its own people, you know, very distinct class of people.
As well, it was community, and each area knew the others, but we all looked out for each other.
Yeah,
and that's been eroded away, which is such a shame.
Yeah, and it's all the trouble is it's all by design as well. And I don't want to go too political because, but you know, it's sad. It's really sad.
It is such a shame. I mean, it's scaring me out of my own country. Plus that and the financial, the way they're bleeding us dry.
Yeah, Dottie. What's Dottie short for? Dorothy. That's right. Yeah, Dorothy. Yeah, Dottie.
Is Violet. It took me ages to work out what Beatty was. That's Beatrice.
Beatrice, yeah, B.
Beatrice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the old
Queenie.
names.
Yeah, there was plenty of Queenies. Plenty of Queenies when I was growing up.
What it stands for. But you had Rose.
You had Maggie for Margaret.
Yeah.
Peggy as well for Margaret, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, which is I'm not Peggy.
Peggy Sue.
Is it Patricia? That's Peggy.
Patricia. I thought Peg from Margaret as well.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Patricia. Yeah. Trisha. Pat.
Patricia.
Patty.
You can't abbreviate my name. Apparently I was called my name because my mum went to a medium and told her that she was pregnant, and she was quite shocked because she didn't think she was. And she said, "There's a woman saying over you, who died of consumption, which was my Aunt Clara, which I look
Clara,
like.
so you've got German. You've got German heritage then.
No, no, yeah, I have actually got German
Clara's
heritage.
German.
Yeah, but she was called Clara. She
Prussian.
died of consumption in the 1920s. But I look like her. And also, my dad's mum was Irish, and she came from County Clare. So that's where I got my name from.
It's French, isn't it? Is it French in origin, Claire?
Huh?
Is it French in origin?
Yeah, it means clear.
Clear.
Yeah, I'm not always clear. More contrary.
Contrary.
As Dangerfield calls me.
Cryptic trout.
Cryptic Claire, not cryptic trout. Oh, jeez.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, the worst one was my maiden name. I was so pleased to marry my husband.
Yeah, if I remember it correctly, you were a Titchins.
Yeah, Titchin, which doesn't help when you're 5 foot.
No.
So I didn't mind. I was called Titch, but so was my dad called Titch because he weren't that tall either. But yeah, Titch. So, but that means that's German name. They came across in the 1700s, and my great grandfather worked for Tate and Lowell, and he accidentally fell.
And that would have been on the river, right? So the ships would have come in with the sugar cane. Yeah. I remember the Tate. I remember the Tate and Lyle thing being there as a kid. The warehouse with the big golden syrup sign on. Yeah,
but he actually fell into a vat of boiling sugar and died.
Isn't it, mate? Like, yeah. I mean, you do obviously still hear of industrial accidents, and they're always horrific. But it was like, oh, you clock in. Yeah, no worries, Mick. You may fall in a vat of boiling sugar today, just to warn you. It was
sign your name off. Yeah. So
what a way to go as well. Fucking hell.
But the thing is, with both me and Mousecat, is all our family have been kicked out of a country somewhere. I mean, the Irish side of my family, well, they just.
Are you about to admit to being part of the 109ers? Don't worry if you don't get that.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah. Mixed family Huguenots. They were kicked out of France. My side of the family, the German side, were kicked out of Germany because they were what do they call it? What's the word? Lutherans.
Oh, Protestants, Reformationists.
Yeah, and so they got kicked out. So every part of our family on both sides has been kicked out. Yeah. They're probably the first people who's decided just to leave.
Yeah.
But what's the other side? Other side is Anglo-Saxon through and through, but they probably came from Vikings.
Well, they're Anglo-Saxons are Germanic tribes, aren't they?
Yeah, and Viking.
The Angles and the Saxons, and you only got a bit of Viking in there too, do
you? Yeah.
Proper admixture.
Yeah, so lucky we never had kids, otherwise it'd be a fucking nightmare.
I believe that Mickey might be referring to you as Cryptic Trout from now on, by the way. You quite like that one.
Cryptic Trout? I'll be having words with him if he calls me Cryptic Trout. But if that's a name that people want to say, Cryptic Trout, I'm quite happy. I can do a face. There you go, that's a trout face. But yeah, I'll tell you another funny, spooky story. When we first moved to where we are, we've been here 17 years, I was going through a very traumatic period. And I won't go into that because it's nobody else's bloody business.
No, if it's personal, it's personal.
But yeah, but there was a place with a tree, and I thought that'd be a lovely place to hang yourself from. And
interesting.
Yes, and I just had this overwhelming feeling about this tree. It's in the garden, and anyway, I got over all of it, and I joined the history group, and I got more looking into research and things like that because I love a bit of research, mate. So
Yeah.
if anything I think of or see, I'd rather go to every avenue than just take what's being put on TV. Just research. Take the medium average of what you've read and research. So I research history.
Yeah.
It turns out the person who I was quite drawn to this tree, he was a butler who lived in this house. And he went missing for 3 months and they found him up a tree hanging.
And because it was summertime, they couldn't see him because of the foliage, or because
Well, no, because no one looks up.
no one looks up.
Nobody ever looks up and looks up and goes, oh.
He must have been quite high up. Because if I walked out into the garden and like a pair of boots sort of hit me in the head as I was hanging out in the washing,
yeah, just move it out of the way. Get out of it. Got to put my pants out to dry. No, he was quite high up, but that's where he was found. But he'd been missing for 3 months. He was the butler.
Jeez.
And
he must have been a bloody skeleton at that point. And he would imagine the birds were very good.
I think they only found him because his boot fell off. But they in a bottle of poison, rat poison, that put the tree. But his wife didn't even know. He handed in his notice to say that he was going off to start a chicken farm down in.
There's a link to you again.
And and he hadn't. And his wife was waiting for him, and they'd done a search party. They couldn't find him. But 3 months later, they were up a tree hanging. And he'd taken.
Have you ever heard of the who put Bella in the Witch Elm story?
Oh yeah, that rings a bell.
Where they found the skeleton of a young lady stuffed inside a tree, and
oh yeah.
I believe it was linked to perhaps World War II spycraft and all that. Actually, who put Bella in the Witch Elm?
Well, you can imagine how many people have got away with murder of what they've done over time.
Yeah, it was in Worcester. That was it. It was. So it says there, the identity of the person or people who placed the unidentified woman, later known as Bella, in the hollow wych elm tree remains a mystery and the case is unsolved. While theories abound, no definitive answer has been found about who put Bella in the tree or why. The mystery surrounding Bella in the wych elm originated in 1943, so that's where I've got World War II from. When her skeleton was discovered in Hagley Wood, Worcestershire, England, graffiti "Who put Bella in the wych elm?" appeared shortly after and has been seen in various forms and places. Some believe Bella may have been murdered by a coven of witches or that she was a witch herself. Other theories suggest Bella was a German spy or involved in espionage during World War II. Yes, I wasn't going mad.
I think it was probably far more simpler than that someone murdered her because she was pregnant or something like that, and didn't want his wife to find out. Just stuck her in a tree and got away with it.
It's interesting.
It's as simple as that.
I think we need to bring back that graffiti. Who put Bella in the wych elm?
But the poor old witches not get a bad rap.
Okay.
More than men. I mean, I'm surprised they let me in the church. I do a lot of work for the church, even though I'm not a religious person. But sometimes I walk in there and go, "Why are you letting me in?"
Yeah, but they've always needed a scapegoat for felled crops or livestock, livestock pandemics and stuff, where they could blame it on the strange old woman who lives in a house in the woods and she's got a big devil's teeth on her face, and they've always.
It was normally the person that was a gobby woman, like a gobby bitch,
who stood up for herself
and their family. The ones that you don't want to live next door to because they're like all the time, and but they were normally the people that knew about herbs and medicines and cures. But back in the
Yeah.
day when they had the witch hunt, which was started off by James I.
Did he employ Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder General?
Yeah, he did. And he, but James I was so obsessed with witches because his future wife was coming across the North Sea, and the boat got capsized by a storm. He said it must have been witchcraft. From then on, he wrote the book that was Demons and How to Spot Them. I can't remember the precise name of it.
King James the First, you say?
Yeah, James I.
Isn't that whose Bible we? King James.
I think it was King James II that rewrote the Bible, but into his own words. But James I was absolutely obsessed about witches, so the witch hunts started to begin. More than the Elizabethan time, because she was still held up as a witch. And it's
Right.
like, and you know, the term fishwife, if you were a gobby woman, they used to put a harness on your head with spikes in it. And a thing
So you couldn't talk.
And so it was punishment. You had to walk around with that so you couldn't gob off people.
Yeah. There are certain women that I would definitely think that would be a good thing to bring back for.
Yeah.
People like Bonnie Blue and people like that, yeah. What was that called? That had a name, didn't it?
Maiden something or the other.
Contraption to stop women gobbing off.
Not gobbling off, because that's completely different. But yeah, they
Scold's Bridal.
that's the one, yeah. And they that was putting them for a punishment because they were gobby.
Yeah.
We've all met a couple of them.
We all met a few of them in our time, haven't we? Yeah, definitely. So the witch thing, it was big here. I think East Anglia had quite a time of it, didn't it, with the witches? Your neck of the woods.
532 were hung or burnt, and the first one lived down the road, actually. And I can't remember her name now. Oh, don't ever ask me names because
these were a brutal bit of kit.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, they weren't pretty. They weren't nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No, it was a chastity belt.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this for Billy. Billy, if you want to get on,
Billy,
I'm sure you'll find one of these on one of the websites that you frequently go on. There you go. That's a Scold's Bride. It looks something like steampunk, doesn't it?
I like the bell at the top.
It looks like an early version of CP3O. the bell at the top.
But
at least you knew they were still in the room, like a cat.
Yeah, she's just shaking her head like a fucking nutter. Going on here, you know. You wait till I get this off. I'm gonna fucking tell you something. But inside that contraption there is a tongue palette. And it has spikes in it, so you couldn't move your tongue around. So
is it like a leather thing? Right here.
Yeah. And
old Dottie there says the ducking stall never made any sense to me. It wasn't meant to make sense, was it? It was like what's that scene off Monty Python, isn't it? Right? If she floats, she's a witch. If she drowns, she's not a witch.
Yeah.
She's drowned.
But it was actually true.
I know the ducking stall. Yeah.
Didn't stand a chance.
No. It was a fucking 1-to-1 bet all day long, wasn't it?
Yeah, they also think it's to do with midwifery because the women were midwives who brought children into the thing, and then the doctor's practice, which were male, came into force, and they wanted to get rid of the women from doing this practice. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. And the worst one that came in was when Cromwell came in, which I hate Cromwell with a vengeance. And he
Yeah, a
just
lot of us do for various different reasons.
oh, he was a nightmare. I think he had
He had a big warty face, didn't he? He had big
yeah,
warts,
he
big
would
growths.
oh, he looked like a frog,
Yeah.
a toad, and yeah, and he because he chopped off the king's head, and then he became a sort of a dictator, and
Yeah.
everyone had to wear black and white. No one could dance on a Saturday. He got rid of
Is this
Christmas.
Unionists, Royalists? This is the Cavalier Roundhead time, is it?
Yeah, and then everyone changed to Puritanism, and then they all sodded off to America. We shipped them all off out of it. You go, you all nutters, go away. Because I come.
Al Mac says the bell. Al Mac says the bell is on there so you can hear when she's going to make your sandwich. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, women have been absolutely like men and women. I mean, like I know we live in a time of like still hyper violence and people being stabbed in the chest with a butcher's knife or run down in cars and stuff. But we do live in the safest like sort of time there's ever been. Like it's not like you're going to go down in the morning from your little roundhouse to go and fetch the water for the day, and you hear a noise behind you. Turn around, there's a great big barbarian who's just about to mace your brain out.
Well, not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Not yet. Give it time.
Give it time. Yeah, give it a little while. I mean, I feel sorry for white men because you've been demonised for over 10 years now that you're all bad, you're all horrible, you're too white, you're all gammon, you're this, that, and the other. And men are getting a really rough ride of it. And the women are going, oh, we want equal. And I'm like, oh, do shut up, loves.
Yeah.
I want one of them things put on them, actually.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for blokes because you don't know what to say, what to do. And I mean, I think I love a compliment from men and recognising. I love banter and having a joke and a laugh. And you're all scared shitless of what to say anymore, all because of these fucking women who are going, oh no, don't say that to me. You really upset.
It's the whole do you remember like you get in trouble for catcalling on a building site or something? Yeah.
Oh, you say it's a compliment. I mean, if that happened now, I'd be going, oh, hello.
We used to be see a nice little woman walk down the street, beep, 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 give her a fucking well done, girl. You look good today.
Yeah, while you were in school uniform.
Well, I wasn't driving then, but
no, it's a nice compliment. But people have taken it too far. They'd be. I'm sorry, ladies who are listening to this.
No, I don't think you're going to find ladies who are here.
They've really ruined society by going over the sodding top. They need something like that with a bell on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just sick of hearing it and listening to it and how you lot have been made to demasculated is the word.
Demasculated, yeah.
And I think it's so sad. I like a man to be a man. I don't want him to beat the shit out of me, obviously.
And you've got young boys in their bedroom and all they know is fucking Call of Duty and they never come off their computer, like, you know.
And their best friend's a sock.
Yeah. Or Bonnie Blue's OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. Good God. People make a fortune out of that. Apparently, some men have been into really older women and on that sort of OnlyFans thing. And I think, oh, Jesus, is that all that? I don't know. It's just that I feel like I'm living in a fucked up world. And
that's right.
I don't like what I'm seeing and how it's all going. And nobody's going to stop me from being a woman and bantering. I love a good banter. And I don't get upset if you call me darling or sweetheart or
no.
you call me what you like. As long as you can have like a smile on your face and have a laugh. As long as you don't rape me, I don't care.
No.
Oh, you
So,
made me thirsty then, darling.
hey, you want to have a swig of yours? I'm about 3 pints in. You haven't finished your first tin.
I know, I've been a good girl.
You know, I wasn't even going to drink tonight. I think that's it, though.
I have that effect on people.
I think that's it, though. Yeah, I'm not going to open up another bottle. Oh, no, look, I've got a little drop in this one now. I'll just finish this one off. Can't just leave that in there.
Oh, go and finish it off.
It's another half a pint there. Oof.
It's like people say, I only had 2 glasses out the bottle of wine. And go, oh, well, just finish it off.
What's the fucking point? And then it's just sat on the side the next morning, weirdly with a teaspoon in, and you're like, what have you done that?
A teaspoon in it.
Have you never seen that where people like have a glass or two and then they put it on the side and they put a teaspoon sort of resting in it?
No, I've never seen that. What sort of people are you knocking around with?
Oh, I don't know. Weird ones, obviously. That was going to be
the
a lot
only
more
wine
slimy.
I buy now, because I can't drink wine because I turn into a bitch woman from hell. So
Yeah.
the only time I've got wine in the house is for cooking.
Right. Yeah, I drank a bottle of tonic wine on here a couple of weeks ago. Ugh.
Tonic wine.
Yeah, Buckfast.
Oh God! Oh yes, that one. Yes. I mean, their monks are bloody mental, weren't they?
I reckon they are. I reckon they are completely sozzled all day and all night.
Yeah, like that. They ain't going to test their.
They're like, well, let's test the batch. Yeah, we had a bit more of that. Test the batch again.
Really think, Friar.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I'm wankered.
I'm just going to go and walk in the cloisters and walk this off.
Fancy a walk. It's going to take us a long time.
Oh, brilliant. So, before you get going, hey?
What's the other alcoholic drink they make up in
Don't they make champagne?
Oh, the monks?
Yeah.
No, but I know the history of champagne. It was actually an Englishman that invented the cork to go into champagne.
Right. Go on in.
They say it actually was an English invention. And the cork, you know, the one that you have to go, pop.
Yeah.
That they've, an English person invented that, which helped the Champagne region in Champagne. Because you only have, champagne is only allowed to be called in France champagne from the region. It's like they call it prosecco or cava, and we have to have sparkling wine. So, you know, like mulberry pork pies, they're all preserved and made. You know, it's heritage names like cheddar.
Yeah, a bit like Stilton. Cheddar.
Yeah.
Cheddar.
Yeah. Cheddar.
Lumi says, is that drink called chartreuse you're thinking of? Or James Hayworth comes in with Benedictine? That sounds like a cough medicine to me. It's the Benedictine. I think it's
monks. Yeah.
I think it's the Benedictine monks that make Buckfast, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, Buckfast, yeah.
Yeah, but is the drink you're thinking of chartreuse or chartreuse? I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
That sounds French.
Lumi lives in France. Does make sense.
Yeah. Isn't there a bunch of nuns that make some special cakes out there as well? Or is that
nun cakes?
Nun cakes. And they go up to the window and go, got any cakes? They go, oh, yeah, ain't got none.
None left.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, got none left. One nun dead and 80.
None here today.
So, before you get going, what's your next, what's your sort of timeline scale now before you'll be well and truly out of here?
Oh, God knows. It depends on the government and the consulate and if they stop changing the bloody rules and if Tony Blair, not Tony Blair, what's the other idiot's name? Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer?
Kai Sharma, yeah,
Wow.
it's queer enough. And if they stop changing the rules and I don't have to work so sodding hard and poor old mouse cat don't get it off the ear from me, because by the time I finish, I'm like, bitch woman from hell. And they will bring back burning steak. I think Mick will go, yeah, put her on the bonfire. Because poor man, he does go through it. And if you're listening, Mick, I'm very, very sorry. I do love you. But yeah, it's.
There you go.
I don't know. Everyone keeps asking me in the village, going, "Oh, have you got a moving date yet? Oh, yeah, when are you going?" I thought, please just give me £1, because then that pays me visa fees. Because I reckon I've racked up about £500 for everyone who asks me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because the trouble is, everyone doesn't do their job properly. They are so slow. You've got fighting with the postal system. Our postal system is crap. And nobody does their job properly. And nobody answers their phones. And I'm just fighting every day just to get answers to one question. I could spend 2 hours waiting for one answer. And I don't know how I keep my temper on the phone to some of these people, because you think, how the sudden hell did you get that job in the first place? It is an absolute nightmare. And that's why I'm looking at a dinghy in Dover and doing it the other way round.
Yeah, why bloody not? Why bloody not? Well, listen, Mrs Meinit, a.k.a. Claire, a.k.a. Cryptic Trout.
Cryptic Trout. Yeah, I like that. I like the Cryptic Trout.
Thank you so much for coming on. And
we talk enough about spooky stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome on any time. You know that.
Oh,
anything you want to have a chat about?
It's been a privilege and a pleasure to talk to you, my lovely, and to the scrubs and the scrubbettes.
Yes, we can have a double M in the chat for Mrs. Meinit, whoever's on the chat, please.
How many we got in?
I'm 17 at the moment. I think it went up to 22 at one point. I've still only got under 100 subs, so I haven't really pushed it.
Did I bore the shit out of everyone?
No, not at all. No, I don't mind these chats. I just feel like it's just having a chat down the pub. You know what I mean?
That's why I think about it. And if you're listening, chaps, hit the like, get this man.
Hit the like, hit subscribe, and share.
Share the love.
Your
spiritual meaning and your inner
ghost. Look, can you see the screen?
No, that's lovely. God bless you. And all
there's that one. Look, you're the absolute best, Claire Cat.
Oh.
Lovely Miss Meinit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
so I will keep it. It's Hoax there. It's the first time I've seen him. Good to see Hoax. I will keep you and Mickey up to date with my situation.
Yes, please do.
And hopefully I'll have some better news for some people.
Oh, it's all going to be all right for you, sweetheart.
Yeah, I hope so. Just got to get on with a few things now. I've got to get a few things done. So I'm going to go and make myself some...
Are you in a quandary about things? You're not sure what's going on and how it's going and why it's going and where it's going?
Pretty much, yeah. It's all waiting on other people making decisions and stuff. I've done as much as I can. There's a few things I've got to do, like I've got to get my driving license updated. I didn't realise my driving license was out of date, so I've got to get that sorted.
Do you want me to fill out a card for you, because I do the tarot?
Oh God! Please don't. What's the worst one I could get? Is it like the dancing devil?
There's no dancing devil in that. The devil doesn't mean the devil, and death doesn't mean death. It just is the interpretation of it.
Yeah, well,
I can do that privately for you.
Okay, you do that privately for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone who got involved tonight.
Who invented that shit? What does he mean?
Oh, I don't know. He's either talking about alcohol or he's talking about tarot cards. Who knows with Billy? Who knows with Billy? It all depends on his blood alcohol level.
I love Billy. I think he's fantastic. I think.
I'll check out Baz there. Bless his bloody heart. I lit a candle for you, Jack, this Sunday in my local church. That's really sweet of you, Baz. Really, really sweet of you.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thank you.
How sweet.
Appreciate it. Have you eaten this evening?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why is it showing I'm not? Have I lost weight in the last hour?
I mean, no, you definitely look like you've lost weight. But what I'm asking is, have you eaten this evening? And my next question is, like, if you haven't, what are you having? And if you have, what did you have?
Well, I had a sliced bread with one half had pate on it, and the other half had this nice red cheese that I found.
Hag pate. Hag.
Hag pate, yeah.
Hag pate, did you say?
Yes, it's a speciality for us witches. Hag pate.
What pate did you have?
It's Ardennes pate.
Ardennes.
Pate.
Ardennes. The forest that the Nazis went through twice. Yeah.
I'm going to admit that I'm called the little soup dragon. I make a lot of soup for the village.
I know you do. Yeah, soup dragon.
So,
yeah.
But now I'm going to start making hag's pate.
Just roadkill. Coarse, ground up roadkill.
What would you like? Squirrel today, sir?
A badger pate. So why has my pate got a Pirelli tyre mark on it?
Hag's pate. I love it.
Well, we've got two new phrases out tonight. We've got cryptic trout and hag's pate. So if we've done anything, we've done that.
Come to a shop near you soon.
That's it. Mrs Mousecat and her own line of sundries. I'm going to go and.
What's that program where you go on there and you pitch the idea?
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den. This is Mrs Meinit, and she's hooked up.
Every meeting going, thanks, pate. Oh, it's delicious.
Tastes real hag.
Yeah. And, you can really taste the moment of death.
Yeah.
Yes. Billy Bloggs says you could go in on a double header, triple header, in fact. You could be the company's called Cryptic Trout. Cryptic Trout Crucial Trading. Right? And you only sell two things: scold bridles and hag's pate.
Well, you got to start somewhere, aren't you?
That's it. Well, God bless you, my lovely, and I'll speak to you really soon. All right.
Oh, that's made me laugh so much.
Good.
And don't forget, I did come with the trigger warning.
It's what it's meant to be about. I'm going to give my mother dear a quick ring back, and then I'm going to go and make myself some southern fried chicken.
Do you want me to send you some hag's pate?
Yeah, send me some hag's. No, not in the Royal Mail because it'll never fucking get here.
Yeah. Oh, you never got that book, did you?
No, arseholes.
Oh, wankers. Yeah. I'm not happy with them. I wrote to my own plate.
I would.
She's acting on it.
Good.
Don't piss off a short woman.
Right, love you so much. All right, give my love to Mr. Mousecat. All right, and all you need to do is hit leave studio. All right, my lovely.
Oh right, okay. I'm doing that right now.
Goodbye, girl. See you later.
I know it's the red button. Yeah.
He's coming just to make sure.
Get stuck. Bye-bye.
Right. Yeah, to anyone still there, yeah, thank you so much for joining in tonight. I'll be back on Sunday with Rags, the Rags and Jack stream where we've got Sense and Communion on. Really looking forward to that. It's been a while since you've had Sense on. one of the best wits in our orbit. And yeah, that's me. I'm going to go and make some food, watch a film, and chill out. And I will see you, depending on how many hours left streaming I've got until. So I think it resets on the 5th. So it might be next Thursday. So yeah, if I don't see you on this stream before then, it'll be Thursday. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.